Hello and welcome to another episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. This is Beriathan of the Citadel Guard of Gondor. We're back at the threshold of the city in the aftermath of the Battle of the Pelennor Fields. So let us talk to Aragorn and let's see what will be the next step in our journey.
The city stands, and Gondor remains unbound.
Things might have gone differently, Beriathan, were it not for many sacrifices. The city stands, and Gondor remains unbowed before the might of Mordor. I am wearing both body and spirit, weighed down by sorrow. There is anger too. Anger at the forces of evil that have taken so many of our friends from us, but it is the sorrow I feel most strongly at the end of this terrible day. So here we have Horn. So let us see what Horn thinks of everything that has happened today.
So much death. So many lives lost. And for what?
The armies of Mordor are repulsed for now, but who can say they will not return? Is this the victory we bought with all of our dead? Good men will no longer return to their homes, and for what? A day of peace? A week? I cannot believe this is so. The ranger Halros took the death blow that was meant for me, Beriathan. I spoke only a few words to him, but now he is dead. Did he leave behind a wife? A child? What chain of events put his feet on the path that ended here in the blood-soaked Pelennor? Is that truly to be the end of his tale? Is this to be the end of mine? Horn wears a haunted expression, his unblinking eyes glazed with tears. He does not seem to see you anymore. I thought I was a man of Rohan, but if this is what it means to be such a man, I cannot bear it. That man is dead. Horn died on the Pelennor, and I will cry no tears for him. The old songs are just songs. They were never more than lies. I see the truth now. Okay, so all these questions in here that Horn asks. What chain of events put his feet on the path that ended here on the blood-soaked Pelennor? A couple, and we were partially responsible for that. It's truly the end of his tale for us it is. But for all the people who made Halros stay in the Shire, it's not. Is this to be the end of mine? Once again, the same. For the people who kept Halros, maybe not. For the people who made him stay, it was the end of the tale. But I'm glad to see that regardless of the outcome that you choose, Horn is still dead. Whether Halros took the death blow or not, Horn also died. Something that the Depths also needed to do to make sure they stay accurate to the lore, as Horn is one of the names mentioned in the songs of the Mounts of Mundburg. Now, what would Halros say? Because not Halros, but if Horn dies, who will take his place here at the threshold of the city instead of him? I don't know. All the characters I have taken so far through the Battle of Pelennor Fields have seen this outcome. I have a couple that have made Halros stay in the Shire, but I have not gotten that far with them yet. So I don't know. I don't know yet. If you know what happens, if Halros stays in the Shire, let me know. Anyway, so that was Horn's thoughts. And here we have Minas.
I am saddened to hear Horn speak this way.
I heard his words. All my heart goes out to him, but I am saddened to hear Horn speak thus, Beriathan. Where is the man who spoke to me of fighting for home and hearth, of fighting for the glory of Rohan and the honor of Theoden King? Where is the man who made the hard choice to leave Nonna behind and make her world more safe than it was? But Theoden is dead, and many others beside. I no longer recognize the Horn that spoke to me on the right from Rohan, and assuage my own doubts. That Horn is dead, slain by the horrors of war, if not by its weapons. I do not want to forget that man, Beriathan. I want the world to remember Horn as I knew him once. I want the world to remember every man who died here. Harding of the Wold, Guthlaf, the banner bearer of Theoden, hot-tempered Fastred, and Doughty Grimbold. They will just be names to the folk that come after, but to me they were men. Good men who fought and died for the promise that their lands would once be safe. It was that promise that Horn tried to explain to me, but I did not understand it then. I think I understand it now. I will remember the names of the men who died here today. I do not want them to be forgotten. So, Harding and Goodlaugh also died, but as far as I remember, we didn't see them die during the battle. I know, as I told you, Grimble dies during the Throne of the Dread Terror raid. Does the same happen to Goodlaugh and Harding? Do we get to see their deaths at all, or is something that happens off screen? Once again, if you know the answer to that, please let me know. Doing here is overcome with grief for his sons and pays no mind to your words of comfort. I can't imagine. Must be very hard to lose both your sons the same day.
Who can say how long this victory will last?
The battle is nearly over, Beriathan, but who can say for certain how long this victory will last? My uncle and my liege has gone to his father's, and I rejoice that his last day was filled with glorious deeds. Many beheld the might of the mark on this day. Eomer grows quiet, and when he speaks again, he speaks in a low voice that only you can hear. I will be king of Rohan now. Is it merely Hope's fancy that I believe the curse of Wergandal has run and is now ended? Much grief followed in the reign of Thengel. His king died and his kingdom fell from honor. But Theoden King lifted Rohan once more to the height and mended the might of the mark. Can you say it is not so? Sleep easy, Werganda. You have been paid, and under the rule of Eomer, not such injustice as was done to you will be done again.
Well done! Well done! We have pushed them back for now.
I am just happy to be off the ship's Beriathan. I was not made for the sailing life. Indeed, I was still a little queasy for several minutes after we arrived at the field of battle, and was not at my very best. That might explain why you and Halbarad lost to me on that contest, Gimli. The fighting set me right before long, but I hope wherever we go next, the journey will be by land and not by river.
This is a hard day, but we have victory at the end of it.
During the battle, I encountered men bearing the body of Theoden back to the city. They carried to a woman, Eowyn, niece of the king. They thought her dead, but I perceived that she lived. I sent them to bring her to the healers instead of the dead house. Her life is in their hands now. Sakalvar.
Have you seen Deowina?
Beriathan, can you tell me if you have seen the Orwina? He is a man of Rohan, yellow of beard and hair in a pony's tail. I met him during the battle and we fought side by side, but I have not seen him since the early hours of morning. You tell Sakalvar that the Orwina was slain when the Witch King descended upon Theoden. I feared that fate for him, Beriathan, but I hoped it would not be so. Alas for Lady Winsick of Rohan. I wish it had been different. I am glad to have met the Orwina and called him friend, though it be for but a few moments during battle. It is cruel of war to make us bid farewell to friends so soon upon meeting them.
I think Gothmog will find he values his life more highly now that it can be lost.
He will not dare to come forth in battle for some time. During that time, we will need to determine our course of action, but I do not know what is best to do. We need time to heal from our hurts and to mourn our dead. We cannot take much time for it, and certainly not as much as they deserve. But still we must. Aragorn smiles wryly. Galadriel so much of today, I think, but our actions and our choices still have meaning. Nothing is said. Your deeds today and those of our fallen friends mean much to me. Thank you for your courage and your loyalty, Beriathan. I take neither for granted, and I appreciate them both. It will take both if we are to defy Sauron as we defied his servant Gothmog, and put an end to the evil he brews in his dark land. I salute you, my friend. Let us heal our hurts, let us remember our dead, and let us think of tomorrow. There is still much that must be done.
The battle is all but ended now, my friend.
But as you saw in there, Aragorn did mention Galadriel's vision. But for whatever reason, I don't know exactly what happened, why that was so. But you might remember when we looked on the hillock to the Harland, we got the text that every other class gets. Black sails fly on a river of dread, or something like that. But it was at that point when wardens are supposed to get the vision of Galadriel, so you, if I remember correctly, you should hear the words of Galadriel once again. You get a reminder of what you heard. Just to let you know that the vision was fulfilled. But I don't know why we didn't get this on Beriathan. I will try to see if I can get that text to trigger in a different way. And it might be so. I might be able to get some record of that before the episode goes live, in which case I will update the episode accordingly. So you might see that already or not. Still not sure, but just for the record, for whatever reason, I didn't get that with Beriathan, and I'm not sure if I should be bugging that. Anyway, that was it for the end of Book 6. So now we're ready to begin Book 7. Let us go.
Is all but ended now, my friend.
The battle is all but ended now, my friend. Jump astride the horse over there and it will speed you from these killing fields, taking you to the aftermath of the battle. I will speak to you again once we have established a pavilion at which I can plan our next step. I do not think it would be right for me to enter the city at this time. There we go. Now we're about to enter a new area, and as you see here, we also have a couple vector quests. The first one is this introduction to an Orient after the battle. You have been summoned by Prince Imrahil, who stands just outside the main gate of after battle Minas Tirith. And this one, which is basically the same. The Battle of the Pelennor Fields is at an end, and Gondor has seen victory on this day. However, the city of Minas Tirith has succumbed to much death and destruction. Imrahil, Prince of the Lamroth, has summoned you to his side as he begins the tasks of rebuilding the White City. So we actually need to find a horse, which is this one, the aftermath of the battle after the battle. Anything else here that we're missing? Seems not. So let us take the horse. Imrahil can be found just outside the city walls of Minas Tirith. So we have, as you see, reached a new version of Minas Tirith, in which we can finally see the city under the light of day, which is awesome. And you might be able to get some great screenshots out of it. But as you can see, of course, the city is not the same. Some statues have been utterly destroyed, like this one. Some of them almost destroyed, like this one there. And this scene repeats itself all over the city and outside on the Pelennor Fields. So in this one, we can still take a picture of Minas Tirith on its better days from the outside. Or from the inside, for that matter, which is a shame. In any case, let us grab, first of all, the Stable Master. We're gonna need that. And the Quartermaster as well.
We can only hope that the Rohirrim will arrive before it's too late.
There is a new master we can get, which is this one, Master in After Battle Minas Tirith. We're gonna grab that one. And I think that's it for Warden Travel Skills. Seems to be it at least. Yeah, that was it. So let me get this one on my quick slots before we begin. Perfect. The city gates, of course, utterly destroyed as well. Imrahil. Beriathan, I am glad you were able to come so quickly to aid the efforts here. There is much to be done.
I thank you for coming.
While there is much work yet to be done in the city, you and I are now needed elsewhere, at Aragorn's pavilion upon the Pelennor, where we must take a stock of the day and plan for the future. Come, I will meet you there. We shall see what Aragorn has to say. Although the battle is won, many of Sauron's minions took to hiding within the walls of the city, hoping to ambush the struggles and wounded during the confusion of battle. We cannot allow these creatures to stand. We need to search for any signs of incursion and eliminate them. The people of Minas Tirith have paid a great price for war, and I wish not to expose them to any further panic. So as you can see, there are also a few daily quests here in After Battle Minas Tirith. So these ones, plus the dailies on pre-battle Minas Tirith should get you some good chunk of reputation for you to level this faction, because we are almost halfway through with the new tier, so the remainder of the reputation has to be done through dailies basically. So let us see, I think this is another one. Even though the siege weapons of Mordor have been silenced, the city continues to crumble in their wake. Many of the surviving citizens of Gondor have found themselves at the mercy of a ceaseless tide of slag and debris, and we do not have enough resources to search under every corner of the wreckage. We have already begun our rescue efforts, but I would ask for your assistance in the rescue of any Gondorians that still remain buried. As we rallied men for the siege, we ordered barricades to be constructed at the junction into every district. Those obstacles were able to slow the enemy advance, but now we're finding that the structures have created a bottleneck into the upper reaches of Minas Tirith. We need the ability to move troops and wounded throughout the city freely, and in order to do that, we'll need someone to locate and dismantle the barricades that lead up into the soldiers' tier. The weapons of the enemy dealt many great blows to the city, and we find ourselves concerned with that growing threat of ruins of flame. If left unchecked, these fires could reduce the lower reaches of Minas Tirith to nothing. This task is arduous enough that I have tasked Beriathan, the Warden of the Wells, with command over the efforts to quell the flames. Seek him out for assistance, Beriathan, as I'm sure he could use someone with your level of insight. During the siege, the enemy sought to intimidate us by bullying the remnants of our fallen brethren into the city. Our people kept their resolve, but we would like to put those remains to rest. We were able to clear most from the streets, but word has come to me that some still linger on the outer walls, and my hope is that you will be able to locate and collect the last of our fallen. Many tools and supplies were brought to the lower reaches of the city in order to support a prolonged siege, but it would seem that those preparations were unnecessary. We have been using those supplies to provide continuous shipments into the Houses of Healing, and I'm hoping that you'll be able to fulfill this next delivery. I would ask you to scour the first circle for any intact shipments, and bring them to the car that is located nearby. Let us see what happens when we pick up this barrel. Okay. We are not hindered by it. So, even though we can technically go now to Aragorn's pavilion, there are 2 quests leading us there. I'm feeling like helping some of these guys, because take a look at all this destruction. And some of these people need immediate help. Oh. You also in here for the Belfalas housing? Okay. Glad to see that you survived. We don't need to talk to you right now. But glad to see you're okay. That's a quest that we can safely ignore as we continue our exploration of the rest of the city. Where is Beriathan? At the northern end of the first circle, that's what I thought. Because in this after battle Minas Tirith, you don't have access to the full city. You can explore the first circle, and I think the 6th circle. Not so sure about the Citadel, maybe the Citadel too, but that's basically it. So Beriathan, who was usually found on the 4th circle, now needs to move to the 1st so we can talk to him. Anything over here? I mean, we're supposed also to be looking for some hidden orcs, but I don't see any trace of them. Ah, small footprints. There we go. Good luck catching us unawares. Something else around here? No, seems not. Yeah, rebuilding the city is gonna take a long time. A shame. All the destruction and sorrow the enemy has brought on the people of Gondor. We are not defeated yet. Not by a long shot. Beriathan, there you are.
Will you help bear my burden, friend?
Without access to the cisterns, we're left with scarce amounts of water and very few measures for controlling the blaze. However, we do have an abundance of fine sand, which should prove adequate for our needs. As we have already collected much of it into rucksacks, seek out whatever bags you can locate and use them to smother the flames. Yeah, all of them are in here, which is convenient, of course. Anything else on this area? Ah, the fires, of course, that we need to quench now. Funny, we are extinguishing the fires with sand, but the animation, of course, still plays the water effect, the sound, everything. Yeah, I guess for such a small quest, wasn't worth it for the devs to create a new animation with sand and everything. But you get the idea. Speak with Hoodin, okay. And start making our way to the south. So most of these daily quests in Minas Tirith, most of them, are really quick and easy to do. So once again, this one coupled with the Worksmen, Builders, and Smith Fellowships on Pre-Vital Minas Tirith could give you a good amount of rep every day. Would still take at least an hour, I would say, to be able to do everything. You are grinding that reputation, but there are plenty of options at least. It's a very huge grind as well, so you gotta be patient. But as tremendous as that grind is, I don't think it's the worst grind in the game. Not even close. Not even top 5. I can think of many other factions that were more painful than this one to max. At least back in the day, grinding the Minas Tirith reputation still provided you with lots of good stuff, as you could get scrolls of empowerment from it. So even though it was a huge grind, there was some tangible benefit from it. There are some other reputations that are there just to consume your time and little else. So that's why I don't think Minas Tirith is as bad as some of the other reputation grinds that we have. And the thing is that most of those grinder reputations that are really tedious are yet to come. We have not reached that point in the game. Some of those reputations we already have unlocked, like the Ents in Durndengol, the factions, the many factions of Dol Amroth. I remember those two as being really, really tedious back in the day. Scatter remains. Well, I'm glad this is at least inside a bag, so we don't have to take a look at how gross that would be in real life. Very considerate of... I don't know. This raises questions because the Orcs wouldn't have any reason to throw those heads inside a bag. The idea behind that is for the Gondorians to see the heads and despair. But if someone went through the effort of taking the heads into the bags, why don't pick the bags in the first place? Yeah, we are overthinking whole game mechanic, but it does raise us questions. So as I was saying, the reputations, some of them are huge grinds. Int of the Dangle, Dol Amroth, Central Gondor. I also remember that as being very grindy, but we got the big reward out of it already, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because grinding the rest of it should prove to be even more tedious now that there's not another reward for it, but well, it's there. But God, the reputations that come, some of the reputations that come after this are ridiculous in my opinion. We'll tell you more about some of them when we get to that point of the game. Some of those maybe made me even quit for a time. But I will also tell you more about it when we get to that point. What else do we have in here? Put in. Almost there. Imra Hill. The cart, which is really close by. And the barricades between the first and the second circles, that should be... that should be done quickly. Ah! Some of them are not on the ramp. Okay, I understand now, I think, what they meant. Where's that goblin? But we can dispatch him. Thank you. Where was the way down again? Oh my god. I don't remember how we climbed this. I think it was through here? Yeah. Nope. The outer wall still manages to confuse me a little. In all iterations of Minas Tirith that there are, still confuses me. Part barricade. Ah, there are. Ah, these are the barricades. Okay. Okay, I get it. And there was also a cart in here. The supplies for the houses of healing. Yeah. Anything else that we're missing? Just the barricades. Cool. It'll be quick then. Hopefully this next one will be the last set of barricades we need to dismantle. I don't remember how many there are. Maybe these ones, right? The last one. Yeah. Great. Can turn in those quests and then proceed to Aragorn's pavilion. This, I think, should also open a new quest did. Let us double check. But I think it should. Beriathan is a clever sword. I wouldn't have expected the Warden of the Worlds to rely on minerals as his solution. We've calmed the flames for now, but new threats will likely emerge. As long as we remain aware of the danger that still exists within the city, then we will overcome this dark chapter. Oh no, there was no need for that. Okay. Even in the wake of carnage, I still cannot believe what the people of this city have endured. The enemy used every vile tactic that they could, but the will of Gondor did not break. I only hope that we can give this fallen a comfortable rest and that Mordor's treachery sits at our heels. Not yet, but we're almost there, Húrin. Excellent! We will make sure to send this shipment up to the Houses of Healing at once. I'm sure that they have no shortage of need for warm blankets and medicinal aids. The people of Gondor thank you for your continued service, Beriathan. Well done. Your efforts have weakened the enemy's presence to the city, but we must remain vigilant. Even though his armies were vanquished, the spies of Sauron linger and will do his bidding until their last breath. It seems that the damage to the lower city is far more extensive than we thought. We may have to divert traffic from these areas in order to avoid further crises. It pains me to see so many who failed to flee during the siege, but who remain strong as long as we continue our rescue efforts. I thank you for your continued service to the people of Gondor, Beriathan. The least I could do. Well done. Those barricades serve their purpose, but are no longer needed. Clearing a path into the upper districts will allow us to move additional men and material throughout the city more freely. Whoa, an interlude. Interesting. I was hoping to find you, Beriathan. A messenger from the Houses of Healing was seeking you on behalf of Peregrine the Halfling. You should go to him in the high hall of the Houses of Healing and learn why he summons you thither. Doubtless you would have seen him sometime today. In any event, for I know you have been doing much throughout the city to help in the aftermath of the battle. Not yet. I don't think I have seen Pippin yet. On the day of battle? Well, we're gonna meet him, it seems. For today, for the time being, sorry. Let us focus on Aragorn and his pavilion, which is right here. Great pavilion too. With a white tree and everything. It's a great view. There's a stable master for it too. Aragorn has need of his captains to determine his next course of action.
These are troublesome times indeed.
I have need of your assistance.
Ah, Beriathan, I have need of your assistance. We have won the battle, but the enemy is far from true defeat. You understand this as much as anyone. We must act swiftly and decisively. We are soon to embark on our most arduous and perilous journey yet, I think. I hope you will come with me, but first I must ask you to bring word to Eomer and Angkor that our forces, such as they are, must be prepared to march.
It is good to see you again.
I saw you speak with Aragorn and guess at what he asks. Many Rohirrim have died this last day. If we were to stop now, their deaths would surely be for naught. I am rightful king of Rohan now, and my men will do as I bid. Tell Aragorn I raise my sword with his, and that when he blows his horns, we will come to the call.
Aragorn wishes to call a council of the captains.
Aragorn wishes to call a council of the captains in order to determine what to do next. But many of those he desires to have a voice are elsewhere on the fields or in the city. Darbun of the north and Elfhelm of Rohan are not far to the southwest if you can hasten their return to the pavilion. I met Legolas the Elf on my way here, and I understand he is a friend of yours and was a companion of Mithrandir in the north. He spoke fair words to me, and I marvel that his journey brought him to this land during times of war. Aragorn will want him to be present as well, and also his friend the dwarf. I did not catch his name, but it seemed to me that elf and dwarf were bonded as friends, and you might not find one without the other. That is unusual of itself, but these are strange times and we may well find our strongest friendships where we least expect them.
Many of the fallen remain uncounted, and for that we cannot yet mourn.
Theoden, Fastred, Galadir, Halvarad are but a few of the names of those who fell on the battlefield yesterday. Many more of the fallen remain unaccounted, and we cannot mourn, remember, or honor them while this is so. Please, my friend, go about the pavilion and see what you can learn of the battle. More took place here than anyone account can comprehend.
We must dispose of the vile corpse of the Witch King's fell beast.
Beriathan, I have decided that before we take further action, we must dispose of the vile corpse of the Witch King's fell beast. I feel a shudder of revolt every time I look upon it, remembering how my uncle and king died there, and how my sister Eowyn nearly fell too, battling the Witch King. The men shunned it as well, and whispered that it is ill luck to let your gaze linger on the dead beast. It should be purged.
I shall fetch Mithrandir to accompany us.
Alright, I will accompany you on that regard, Eomer, in just a second. Host of the West. I don't think we'll need much of those reputation tasks. Beriathan, my friend, I have been looking for Harding. He and I were fighting side by side, only to get separated in the fray in the late morning. I thought that we would meet again here at the pavilion, but alas, he is nowhere to be found. Well, I'm glad at least that you are okay with Farah. Scrolls of Empowerment. No, we don't need that. Thank you. I am sure you fought bravely in battle. How I survived the ordeal though, I cannot say. This old body has seen more combat than most. I suppose I am very lucky to still be alive.
Our company cannot spare the time for idle chatter.
Beriathan, it has been long since we last spoke. I was unable to ride with the rest of my brethren into battle, for it took longer than expected to depart. I can assure you that Beacon Watch is safe in my absence though. I expected to make good time on the ride south, only to be thwarted by a group of Uruk-hai. I believe they were tracking the rest of the riders, so I diverted my path from theirs to throw them off the trail. I rode into battle towards the end, and did my best to take out as many orcs as I could. Alright, good to meet you again, Kutha. Didn't expect to see you here. I stayed by the side of Theoden King even after his passing and helped escort his body to Minas Tirith. When I heard that Aragorn had set up an encampment on the Pelennor, I rode out to join him. I cannot help you. I still heavily bear the loss of my sons. Don't you worry in that regard, going here. It is good to see you again. A true man of honor and nearly as fearless as I. You relayed Aragorn's request. I have trusted Aragorn since the moment I saw Thorongil return to Lane here. Come, there is much to be done if we are to move an army. Okay, now we do have the deed, Quests of the Pelennor. We need 17. Not bad.
Can I rely on you to find those still missing or presumed dead?
That yielded less than I had hoped. No matter, can I rely on you to find those still missing or presumed dead? Let me think a moment on what must be done. Dervarin and Rosaran, oh my god. Orlong, Golasgil and Hirluin. Ingold and Turgon. Duilin and Derufin. And the Council of the Captains. Jeez.
I shall fetch Mithrandir to accompany us.
Let us go now and get the fell beast's head. Let me know when you're ready and I shall fetch Mithrandir to accompany us. He has mentioned some concern with the corpse and wishes to oversee its disposal.
In an attempt to cleanse the Pelennor Fields, I have asked for you and Eomer to destroy the corpse of the Witch King's fell beast.
With pleasure.
Look upon the fell beast carcass there.
The carcass of the fell beast still marks the field at which it breathed its last, and it remains a foul reminder of the villain it bore. It must be removed. I had thought to do so quickly and without ceremony, but a number of scholars from the city besieged me, wishing to preserve some part of the creature for their study. Take this heavy cloth and wrap the head in it, so it may be safely transported to these scholars. We will then burn the body, for it cannot be allowed to fester here at the site of Third and King's Ending. Yeah, gotta take care of this. It's gruesome. The sooner we're done with this, the better. Good work. Now set the head aside for a spell while you attend to the corpse. Now kill it with fire! Eerie flames. Gee, good riddance to these foul creatures. Yeah. Oh, look how disturbing that is.
The dead beast and its master are cleansed from the field. Good.
The dead beast and its foul master have both been cleansed from the Pelennor, and for that you have my thanks, but the memory of them lingers. I would have seen both head and body burned, but if it is Gandalf's wish that the head be preserved for scholarly study, I will not gainsay him.
If you would, accompany me to deliver this strange gift.
Let us away to the Houses of Healing, Beriathan. The Houses of Lore, sorry. And we will bring with us our freshly wrapped burden. May the cloth shroud the eyes of any who see us pass, for such a burden will work fear in the hearts of folk of the city, even if its days of rending and tearing are done. The greatest evil it poses now is against the nose, Beriathan. Let us deliver it to the scholars with this advice. Keep it not in an enclosed space. Rather, let the place of its study be an eerie one, and dispose of the foul-smelling relic when you have learned all you can of it. Okay, there we go, to the Houses of Lore. Mithrandir greets the scholars of the Houses of Lore. My friends, I have returned from the field. We did not think you would return so soon, Mithrandir. We did not think you would return empty-handed either. Fear not, my friends. I have been true to my word, and there is a rat package just without. I will spare you the sudden shock of discovery. Within you will find a head of a fell beast. Can it be? The head of the Witch King's steed. The very same. Study it with care and learn what you can. You have our thanks, Mithrandir. You are most welcome, my friends. May some wisdom come from even this. Let us hope that's true.
I thank you for assisting me on this errand.
Thank you for your help with this unpleasant burden, Beriathan. Such creatures are bred in the darkness of Mordor, and little is known of them, save that they are raised in corruption and used for evil. They are fed vile meats and treated unkindly, and have proved fitting steeds for the enemy's most powerful lieutenants. Can they teach us anything more? Perhaps our friends here will learn something valuable from this study, and perhaps not. But I am glad to have given them the opportunity for such learning if there is a chance it might be had.
You should return to Aragorn's pavilion if you are finished here.
Yeah, let us go there. Hope you're happy now, Eomer. It's been taken care of. I am sure that lore masters of Gondor.
Lore masters of Gondor will learn much.
I am sure the lore masters of Gondor will learn much from studying the head of that foul creature. I hope only that the risk does not outweigh the reward. We'll see, we'll see. Who knows? Agility and morale.
We fought and we died on this field. The men of Rohan and Gondor.
We fought, and by some great miracle seized the day from the arms of an overwhelming foe. But the battle is finished and it is a new dawn. So how is it that some foes linger yet upon the Pelennor? I have received word of one Orc captain who seems bent on fighting to the last, taking as many of our men as he can with him. I am weary of death, Beriathan. Will you find this captain and put an end to him? Sure. Oh, the Aftermath quests too, yeah.
And Rosaron are unaccounted for.
The Reverend son of Borghador and Rosaran as one knight under Imrahil's command are unaccounted for. You should search for them at once.
Would you ask Dwynhir if he is willing to identify his sons?
Many corpses have been recovered from the field, some nearly beyond recognition. I fear that Dwylin and Derufin, who were trampled by a Mumak, may be among them. Would you ask Dwynhir if he is willing to identify his sons? I don't know. I'll ask him, but I don't know. Let me get a lock on this epic too.
Forlong, Golisgil, and Hirluin all were lost in the tempest of combat.
What befell them is unknown, though I fear the worst for Forlong, who was last seen charging at full fury towards the line of Suhalar. Please, search for them along the wreckage on the Pelennor. Well, we already saw Hirluin's body with Forlong, and kinda spoiler, but we know from the books that Forlong died too. I don't know about Golasgil, so let us find out.
Ingold and Turgon both remain missing.
Ingold, captain of the Outwall, and Turgon, captain of the Southgate, both remain missing. Imrahil felt sure they had retreated into the city before the start of the battle, but now it seems it was not so. You must add their names to those you seek upon the Pelennor. Let us begin with Dwynhir. You gently explain that Aragorn has asked Dwynhir to identify his sons' bodies. I cannot. I have seen so much death. To see theirs? You came to know them well in these last days, did you not? Will you go in my stead? Dwynhir does not have the strength of mind to identify his sons. Yeah, poor guy. I totally get you. We're more than happy to help you with that. Okay, there is a lot of things in here. Do we need to return to the threshold of the city for this? Here we have, first of all, Elfmar. No, these are the bodies we need to identify. Lots of dead soldiers. Jeez. Let us begin our task. This is not one of Dwynhir's sons. This one either. It seems they will not be here. You are certain this is the body of Derufin? Poor Derufin. And where's Dwylin? You are certain this is the body of Dwylin? Come from here. Elfmar and Darvun, here they are. Elfhelm and Darvun are deep in conversation, but they look up as you approach.
The battle is ended. It was a victory hard bought.
And many good men fell upon this field and will not return to their homes. Alas for Elfmar, alas for my son. As much of the elf world as remained mourns for him, and I weep with them. This man Darvun was a companion of mighty Golodir, whose Ludiolog Thrugrath, though he died in the doing. We have been sharing tales of our fallen, and it has eased my sorrow somewhat, though it cannot erase it. His people appear stern and grim at first, but I have marked that they speak warmly of their friends and the lands from which they hail. Perhaps they are not so very different from the men of the Mark as I supposed. I will seek for more of the leaders of my people and go to the Rangers' pavilion at once.
I am happy you survived.
So many of our friends did not.
Loyal Halbarad, Wary Galadir, young Celeran. Oh my god, Celeran died too. I feel their loss keenly. 8 of my brothers fell upon the Pelennor in service to Aragorn, but if they had the choice of fighting for him once again, you would find 8 minds unchanged. I will continue on to his pavilion Beriathan, and no matter his command, I will see it done. Okay, I got 4 rangers, Halbarad, Galadir, Celeran, and Halros, of course, but who are the other 4? There is a thread on the forums that follows the fate of the Rangers of the Great Company and later on the Rangers of Ithilien too. And most likely that answer is there. But I'm not sure right now who are the other Rangers who died at the Pelennor.
I thank you. It was a difficult task.
I thank you, Beriathan. I understand that it was a difficult task, but you have shown both discretion and courtesy in seeing it through. Of course, was the least thing I could do. Okay. I'll need to do a lot of exploring on the Pelennor. But I think we can at least talk to Legolas and Gimli, who are really close by. Another picture of the aftermath of the city. Very cool. The Diviner of Rohan, Dol Amroth, and Minas Tirith, well, Gondor, at the gates of the city. Where has my son gone? None have seen him since the battle. And I don't think we will. He's supposed to be dead. Legolas and Gimli smile warmly at your approach.
We have been to see Merry, where he lies in the houses of healing.
And I am pleased to report that he will survive his wounds. We spoke with him for a time and rested upon the wall. He is weary, but the worst seems behind him. Have you taken the opportunity to explore the city, Beriathan? It is impressive, but there are not enough gardens here, and the folks suffer for their lack. They need more than is green and growing. If Aragorn does claim his crown, my people will bring him birds to sing and trees to thrive, and this will be a better city for their presence. We are on our way back to Aragorn's pavilion. I am eager to learn what he chooses for his next course.
My axe is not yet on its fill.
Now that the battle is done, I have taken a good look at the stonework of the city. Some of it is finely made, but there is plenty of careless stonework as well, and I see much that might be improved in the layout of the streets. Do not mistake me, any dwarf would see the same. Where should we go next? My axe has not yet had its fill, and I will wield it on behalf of Aragorn wherever he deems it most needed. You are good friends. I'm sure Aragorn is glad to have you both.
The battle is won, but time is short. Some things that were kept secret must now be revealed.
A decision made with all of the information is undermined even as it is made, Beriathan. When we meet in council, some things that were kept secret must be revealed if we are to properly weigh our choices. I hope you will think no less of me for keeping these secrets, my friend. You are a good friend and true, and if I kept you in the dark, I did so only because at the time I thought it was needed. Speak to me when you are ready to meet. Okay, we will be going to the council, of course, but as far as I remember, that's a very long debate. So I don't think we have enough time for that today, but we will begin with that on the next episode. For the time being though, this has been all on today's episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you on the next one. Until then, my friends, stay safe, take care, good luck to you all, and I will see you later.